It's noon hour on the very last day of 2025. And I'd like to talk about the year that was and the year that's coming. So as we come to the very end of this year, this quiet pause between what has been and what's about to be, I want to talk about something simple, yet something I think is profoundly important. It's a phrase that many of you have heard before, one that goes all the way back to early neuroscience, that when things fire together, they wire together. And that idea comes from the earliest work on neuroplasticity, which is the understanding that the brain changes based on what we repeatedly activate. Now, your nervous system doesn't judge the experience. It doesn't decide whether it's good or bad for you. It simply strengthens whatever gets practiced most. At this time of year, the holidays, the endings, the reflection, is one of the most powerful wiring periods we have, because memory doesn't just recall the past. Researchers like Joseph Ledoux showed decades ago, memory recreates emotional and physiological states as if they're happening in the moment. So when you remember something meaningful, your nervous system responds in real time. Your heart rate changes, your breathing shifts, your muscles tighten or soften, your hormones respond. In other words, remembering is a full body event. And that means this season, as we revisit the year, and sometime years before it, it can wire us towards resilience or quietly reinforce suffering. So let's start with the positive side. If you notice yourself remembering something beautiful from the past, a memory of friends or family, a moment of connection, a laugh, a sense of peace, a quiet win no one else saw, I encourage you to pause. Don't rush past it. Dwell there. Stay there. Breathe there. This matters more than most people realize. Research on positive emotional states, work from people like Barbara Fredrickson, show that when we stay present with uplifting emotions, our awareness broadens. Our nervous system builds long-term resilience. So let it spread. Notice where it lives in your body. Is it warmth in your chest? Is it softness in your shoulders? Is it a settling in your stomach? This isn't indulgence. This is actual neural training. Because when you allow a positive emotional state to fully occupy your awareness, you are strengthening circuits of safety and regulation. You're telling your nervous system, this is a state worth remembering. Now, the other side for many people, this season also activates grief, regret, loneliness, or pain. Old memories surface, old years replay, old losses echo. And that's not a weakness. That's biology. The brain evolved to remember threat vividly. Emotion is the glue of memory. And here's the distinction that matters. Remembering pain does not require reliving it endlessly. If you notice yourself pulled into a negative emotional state, perhaps a heaviness or a tightening, a spiral downwards, this is where we introduce what clinicians and coaches call a pattern interrupt, where we break the emotional state. A pattern interrupt is simply anything that breaks the automatic loop between memory and emotion. Now, one of the fastest and most effective ways to do that is to change the state of our body. Stand up, move, let your eyes soften or widen into peripheral vision. Stay away from tunnel vision, but go into wide panoramic awareness. Breathe through your nose, slowly, long inhalation. Do it deliberately, and then exhale through your mouth. This isn't just mindfulness language. This is modern neuroscience. And it's popularized recently by people like Andrew Huberman at Stanford. And he has shown how nasal breathing, movement, and panoramic vision activate the parasympathetic nervous system. In really, really simple terms, you send a message through your vagus nerve that I am safe now. And when the ventral branch of your vagus nerve is active, something Stephen Porges has worked to help us understand, the nervous system shifts into connection, regulation, and calm. This is the state where clarity returns, where perspective comes back online, where healing becomes possible. So every time you catch a negative loop, instead of collapsing into it, stand up, move, breathe, and reconnect. You're not avoiding reality when you do this. You're rewiring your nervous system. Because as I said before, when things fire together, they wire together. The more often you interrupt the dysregulation, the less automatic it becomes. The more often you choose movement over freeze, breath over panic, connection over isolation, the more your nervous system learns a new default. That's why January doesn't have to be a crash. It doesn't have to be heavy, or lonely, or hollow. It can be absolutely grounded. It can be steady. Not because life suddenly becomes easy in 2026, but because your relationship with your internal state has changed. And this isn't about denying painful memories. It's not about telling them, letting them drive your future. It's about honoring the triumphs of this year, even the quiet ones, even the ones that came with scars. You're still here. Your nervous system adapted to survive. And now it can learn to reset and to rest. So as this year closes, I invite you to remember 3 things. When something good arises, stay with it. Breathe in it. Let it wire. When something heavy arises, interrupt the pattern. Move and breathe. Widen your vision. And when you can, seek connection. Because connection is regulation. And regulation is freedom. We don't move into 2026 by forcing optimism. We move into it by training ourselves, our neurosystem, for safety. And we do it slowly, repeatedly, kindly, and over time. And the wiring changes. And when things fire together, they wire together. So I encourage you all to make a choice. As often as you can, what you allow to fire will wire. Be mindful. I'll see everybody in the new year.